Chelsea are welcoming Manchester United at Stamford Bridge on Thursday in a Premier League classic match where both teams are looking or are aiming to return back to winning ways. Chelsea drew their last match against Burnley at Stamford Bridge 2-2, and United on the other hand drew their match against Brentford 1-1. Both teams are aiming to qualify for next season's Champions League or maybe Europa League or even UEFA Conference League. And at the moment, Chelsea are below Champions League, Europa League, or even UEFA Conference League. On the other hand, United, who are sixth in the league, they are sitting in a position where they could play a Europa League next season. But they will be aiming for a higher league, which is the Champions League, and that means they have to win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So the last time Chelsea won against United was back in 2017. That was the last time Chelsea won against United in the league. So United have had quite a good number of runs when they faced Chelsea in the league, where they've not lost since 2017, about 7 years ago. And looking at their current position in the league, as told you, Chelsea are 11th, having played 29 games, and they have 40 points. On the other hand, United are 6th with 48 points, having played 29 games. And the last game against Brentford was a disappointment, as similar to Chelsea's last game against Burnley, which was a disappointment. So this team coming up against each other, they are looking to return back to winning ways, and they aiming to qualify for Europe football next season. So Chelsea have not won against Manchester United for 7 years in the league. According to the statistics, the last time Chelsea won against United was in 2017. So the question is, will Mauricio Pochettino's men or players be able to win against United in the league for the first time since 2017, or will Ten Hag's men continue with that record of unbeaten streak against Chelsea in the Premier League? So we await that on Thursday. I can say it's a very important match for both teams. United, who are aiming to overtake Liverpool, or rather Spurs, in the 5th position, and also Chelsea, who are aiming to move into the top half of the Premier League. Remember, they're in the bottom half of the Premier League. They're in 11th with 40 points, as we discussed earlier. Team news for both teams. Manchester United, they welcomed Lisandro Martinez back from injury in the game against Brentford. We also noticed Casemiro was also back, but there were no Johnny Evans, and also Varane had a knock, and we are waiting to see or to hear from Ten Hag if the injury is severe. Chelsea on the other hand, they're having injuries. Lavia is out, Reece James is out, Ben Chilwell had a knock, and also Malo Gusto had a knock, with Levi Colwill was also out, and Division Sanchez, the goalkeeper, is also out. So Chelsea are in injury crisis at the moment, and they are going into the game against United with some of their star players out, but they have the stamina, the likes of Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer. So can Chelsea win against United for the first time since 2017, or will United continue with their perfect streak against Chelsea in the league? Another game is Arsenal, who are fighting for the title. They are facing Luton Town, who are fighting for relegation. So it's the title contenders and a team fighting for relegation. Arsenal are welcoming Luton Town at the Emirates Stadium in a game where they look to go ahead of Liverpool in the table. Arsenal would drew against Manchester City 1-1 at 0-0 at the Etihad Stadium, are second in the Premier League with 65 points. That's 2 points behind leaders Liverpool, and 1 point ahead of City, who have 64 points. On the other hand, Luton Town are 18th with 22 points, and at the moment they are fighting relegation. They are not safe yet. They've played 30 games and 10 games to go. With among the 10 games, one is against Arsenal. So I think it's going to be a difficult match for both teams, as both teams are under pressure. Arsenal at Mikel Arteta, they are under pressure to produce and win and get the 3 points, because they are in for the title this season. Remember last season they went for the title but they did not win. On the other hand, Luton Town, they are fighting for relegation, and at the moment they are sitting at 18th position, and 3 points on the road will be good for them, but they are coming up against a good team, Arsenal, whom in the first leg won 4-3, the Declan Rice winner, and I think it's going to be a very good performance. Arsenal's performance against Luton will be much different from the performance they had against Manchester City. Because Manchester City is a very strong team, so they had to play a low block. But against Luton, they are going to attack. So I'm backing Arsenal to come out as winners against Luton Town on Wednesday, because they have the quality and they don't have injury crisis at the moment. Against City, we saw Gabriel Martinelli came back from injury. He was substituted in the second half. Although Saka was out, he was substituted out with a knock. But at Mikel Arteta, during the pre-match analysis or the pre-match press conference, he said that it was just a precaution, and Bukayo Saka will be fit enough to face Luton Town on Thursday at the Emirates Stadium. So they don't have that injury problem at the moment. They have their players the way they want them to be. The goalkeeper, the back, the midfield, and also the attack is packed and fully strong as Arsenal are concerned. So I'm going for the Arsenal to come up with winners, because they're under pressure to win the league for almost 2 centuries. They're not win the league since 2024, I think, since 2004, yeah, 2004, I think. So they are going into this match, they are going to get the 3 points done. And Arsenal this season, we've seen how they come out. They always came and approach the game in a different way. I remember last season they collected 0 points against Man City, and this season they've collected 4 points against Liverpool, and also collected 4 points against Arsenal, against Manchester City. So they are a strong team who are determined to go and win the league. So I'm backing them to come out as winners against Luton Town. The defending champions, Manchester City, are also in action this midweek, and they are facing Aston Villa, the 4th position team, that is Aston Villa, at the Etihad. The last game against Arsenal, they drew 0-0, and Aston Villa, on the other hand, they won 2-0 against Wolves. Remember, Aston Villa are 4th in the table, and Manchester City are 3rd in the table. And Manchester City are aiming to go at least a second. They will be hoping that Arsenal and Liverpool drop points, and maybe they will get their 3 points against Aston Villa, give them a chance to move into second position or even first. So they'll be facing a team which they lost at away. I remember they lost at Villa Park 1-0, I think, earlier in the season, and they coming in at Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are not as strong as they were when the season was starting, so it's going to be a different game as the one we saw at Villa Park last year. So remember, Man City, they are a team which, if you give them a chance, they are going to punish you. That is what Mikel Arteta didn't do. They were not giving Man City a chance. No chance for Haaland and no chance for De Bruyne to bring in those crosses and dangerous passes to Haaland. So Manchester City coming up against Aston Villa is going to be a difficult match for both teams, and also going to be Manchester City are under pressure, and they are under more pressure to win than Aston Villa. But I back them to come up as winners against Aston Villa at the Etihad on Wednesday. The last fixture in this midweek that I'm going to talk about is about the league leaders at the moment, Liverpool versus the rock bottom team, that is Sheffield United. So it's the top versus bottom. Liverpool, who are leading the table, are facing Sheffield, who are in the last position in the table. Remember, Liverpool are fighting for the title, whereas Sheffield United are fighting for relegation. And at the moment, they are sitting in the 20th position. And Liverpool are first with 67 points, having played 29 games. And they are coming into this game against Sheffield United with a lot of there are a lot of they have more advantage at the moment, because they are 2 points ahead of Arsenal and 3 points ahead of Manchester City, and that gives them a room to play their game without any pressure. And that means they will be able to play their beautiful game with no pressure and at ease, which will lead to them coming out as winners. Playing with pressure is always difficult, and sometimes you find yourself making a lot of mistakes which are going to cost you in the game. But if you play with confidence, and you're playing with ease, you will always make it easy for yourself, and you find yourself winning. So I think Liverpool will approach this game with caution, with confidence, and they know we are going to win, and we are going to take the 3 points and move ahead of our rivals Arsenal and Man City. And they hope that Arsenal drop points against Luton, and also Man City drop points against Aston Villa, and that will give them a more advantage in or at the table. So I'm backing Liverpool to come up as winners against Sheffield United. Let me know what you think in the comments.